How's it going, Van Tubers? We're going to try this again. This damn camera's not working with me. Keeps shutting off on me. So anyways, the video, we're going to try to do this again. If you can't get rid of the rust or stop it in its tracks, try the vinegar, water, and a Scotch-Brite pad. You want to get them heavy areas really good. That stuff works. It's like, you can go 2-to-1 mix. 2 gallons to a cup of vinegar. And that stuff, I swear, it stops it dead in its tracks. It turns into a black oxide. And once it's dry and then you lacquer thinner over it, you can paint right over it immediately with primer. And it will never come back. And that's exactly what a lot of people do. Where I sandblast, I can do it. I get rid of every bit of it. It's all gone, all the rust. I sandblast that with a special kind of mix. A lot of it's powder. If you see in the videos, you can see a lot of dust. That's actually real sand, coarse, that is so fine it gets all into the crevices and breaks that surface tension and gets that rust out of there, and that's what you want. So anyways, right after that's done, I blow the whole thing off and I put my seam sealer in, and that's the most critical part of restoration. You got to get old seam sealer out, get the rust gone, and put the new seam sealer in and let it dry, and then epoxy prime over that, because you got to seal that pore. All it is an open wound to the elements, and any bit of moisture will flash right over. And that's what was going on with me. I had to sand a couple panels like 2 or 3 times because the humidity was just so great, because this is the shithole of Connecticut, and that's what we do. We get pissed on all day, and I can't stand it because I'm trying to get the fuck out of here, and I can't stand it anymore. Where this is like, I should be able to work on this shit all year round, and that's what bothers me. A lot of people don't have this to mess with. This is a pain in my ass. I'm sick of working on people's crap and putting my shit off the side, so I'm all done with that. So you vanners out there, this is what's going on, because I'm trying to get to the fun stuff now. Now that the van is in epoxy sealer, okay, with all the new seam seal in the spots where I don't have to weld, because I left seam sealer out in like the pockets of the doors, because I'm going to put hidden hinges in this thing, and you don't want to weld in that area with seam sealer. I mean, it'll smoke you out. It'll kill you for one. It'll choke you to death. I have to let this thing cure for a week or 2, as long. I want to let it cure for 6 months once I start putting filler and Bondo on here. I'm probably going to use some gorilla hair, maybe a little kitty hair, long, things like that, to fill a couple big seams in. I'm going to weld them. I welded the 2 top posts up on the A-pillars, okay? That's around the windshield. And where on these vans they're split. It's like they came over, dropped the top right on it, and they just kind of stitch welded in between with little spot welds. All of those are welded up. Found some pinholes in the gutter rail. I have big plans for the gutter rail. Okay, it all has to be finished perfect, because I have this. I'm going to be putting some stainless trim on all the way around that van, so it looks like a muscle car from the 60s, and where the dash and the steering wheel, everything matches the drivetrain. But anyways, while that's drying, I'm going to get to the fun things. I cleaned the engine compartment, and I got to do a little cleaning. I still have to finish welding the passenger side rear tub, because I haven't got to that, because I ran into some problems with the warping of the steel. So I fixed that. So now I just have to put the piece in and finish welding it up. So that's some of the fun things, but it's actually at the same time kind of just grueling, and it just, takes a lot of wear on you. So meanwhile, while I'm waiting for my springs for the front, because I'd like to move this over here so I could start assembling it. And basically, I'm waiting for the springs. I had to order a new piece of stainless material for my grill. I'm going to do a whole video on that, maybe 3 or 4 videos on it, so people see how easy to make a custom grill is, and I've done a lot of them. but I've never done a video on it, so I'm waiting for that material. I should be picking it up in another week. Today is like what? It's like August 15th or something like that, August 12th. Should be able to get that soon. So anyways, I'm going to try to do a little bit of fun things because that's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that epoxy to cure, because I don't really want to touch it because it's still, you know, curing in the seam sealer areas. So anyways, what I did in the meanwhile, as I'm waiting for parts and stuff like that, I did the alternate. I fixed the alternator because it was squealing. My belt was loose. Had to make another bracket. Did all that. I think in the one of the videos I mentioned the air conditioning system is going in this. I put a brand new air conditioning unit, custom made bracket. I'm going to show you what that looks like on the engine. Everything, remind you, has to fit in that doghouse, and it has to look really nice. So it looks pretty good so far. So I'm going to, right now I'm just tinkering around with a couple little things because I have to machine a couple parts to get them out of the way. One of them is the emergency. Believe it or not, this stuff is so simple to put together, you know. So anyways, a lot of these cars that I see, they have there's no emergency brake, no heaters, no AC. I mean, no directional lights, no flashers, no nothing. I don't understand why none of this is on it. Came like that from the factory. I mean, I have no idea. I wouldn't even take a car on the road if it didn't have any of these, especially a horn. It's not safe, for one. And god damn it, make sure the e-brakes work. It's so simple and inexpensive. I don't think you have to spend $100 on some of these vintage cars to get a really good working brake system, like e-brake. It's really important. I don't care if you even have an automatic transmission like this has. You still need one. That's the law. So anyways, let's get it done. So that's one of the things. Everything underneath is done, okay? Brand new shiny. I'm talking down to the last nut and bolt. So right now the e-brake system is disconnected because I have to do the doghouse area. And I also have to do a handle on the e-brake handle because when I got the van it was a nail and a wire hanging and used to be, I don't understand that. So looking around for a vintage handle for a van, it's not easy. So I came up with this idea. Recently, I don't know, I say recently, but I think it was like a year ago, I was at a yard sale, and I found this really trick, custom-made machinist project that was probably from an apprentice at a school, and this is what it looks like. And you like that, huh? So this was, the guy's name is still on it, right there. But anyways, this is a machinist school project. And I see a lot of stuff. People make cannons. This one had to be a custom-made artillery shell, I guess, because it's quite big. It's not a 50 caliber, but it's huge. It's like, I measured, it's like 7.5. It's huge. So anyways, this big ass aluminum bullet, I'm going to polish it, and this is going to be pretty trick. I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like with the emergency brake. So let's go. Okay, we're going to go to the van. Yes, you can see all the epoxy primer. I might as well just show you that. So this is that's my engine, ladies and gentlemen. You can see how nice that looks, right? Pretty slick. See my air conditioning bracket? Custom made. And your adjuster is like right in there somewhere. You can see it. It's like a bolt, and the way it works is you basically it works on a swivel. And there's one pin underneath, and then you just put the belt on it, and everything spins smoothly. I was going to start this because I haven't started it in a few weeks, actually like 3 months. That's not good. So, anyways, before you start this with the compressor pump on it, you got to fill this with oil. So I got 8 ounces of oil in there, just so I can start the engine and let it run. So we don't want any problems with that because that's new. I mean, it's dirty, but it's all been rebuilt. So, you know, I checked everything out and put new O-rings on it, greased it up. So anyways, the alternator was squealing because I'm relying on this one bracket right here that goes to the side of the engine, and it comes up underneath the bottom. So what was going on was the thing was tilting a little bit, and every time I rev the engine with the torque, it fluctuates, so this belt squeals on these pulleys. So what I did was I made this fancy little bracket right here, and it goes off the motor mount, which is held by the engine block, and then the back side of the alternator usually has that 5/16. I drilled it out, retapped it for 3/8. Of course, put a pretty big ass bolt in there. So that thing is, hopefully that thing is cured. And my wires are just sitting here because, don't forget, I still got to get the doghouse on there. So that's what I got to work on. So I sandblasted all of that old rust and paint off all the way around the lip, because I'm gonna widen the dog. You can see how wide the doghouse is. This is how wide it's gonna be, but the top, the cover is gonna be exactly the same. Okay, you can see that this is what I left. So I'm gonna make a new flange here, come out 4.5 inches, and then I'm widening the whole thing because I want to make like a little table. I'm thinking of making like a but anyways, this thing is gonna, I'm thinking of either sliding it back on rollers, or but now I have a better idea. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld the top to the pan, and where this is gonna be a double flange, like this, see how this flange is? It's gonna be here too. I'm gonna make another flange that goes down from each side right to there. And this whole thing is gonna, I think it's just gonna come straight up with a an actuator, 12-volt actuator pump, and it would be a quick latch. Once it goes down, you just snap the original latch on it, and people are mind-boggling because all you do is, I'm gonna hit a switch right here. I'm gonna put a switch right there, unlatch that, push the button, and the whole doghouse flips up. All electric. So anyways, let's get to some of the fun things. Now that the primer is curing only a couple days here, I have to fix the seam on the floor. That's no big deal. That'll take me a couple hours, so I'm just going to wait until the primer's done, because I got to dig out a couple little spots of goop. One of the things that I have to get done is, for mock-up, is this e-brake handle, and I can't find an original one. I could use a Mopar one, but I had this fancy machinist project artillery shell, which is billet aluminum, so I'm going to polish that. So anyways, believe it or not, this is perfect 1/2 inch, so I drilled out a 1/2 inch on the mill, and look at this. Is that fucking slick or what? So anyways, I'm going to do that. And don't forget, all of this is going to be paint. I have a console going in here, the air conditioning unit's going in here, cup holders, the stereo is going in right here, and I also, you got the, once everything's done, the new steering wheel should be coming in soon, because I was going to use this, but it's kind of tacky. I got another one, but I gotta order the paint, so I can at least, well, let's just put it this way. Most of the paint work, if I can get all the prep done, I can paint the dash, because I'm waiting for some material to do the dash. It's gonna be so awesome. I gotta tack weld this up, this seam. I'm gonna tack weld these seams up so you don't see any seams. You're not going to see this, so I don't have to go all the way down. And then I'm going to wrap this whole thing with a special material. When you see that, it's going to be mind-boggling. The Jaguar shifter goes back in there. And then I got to do the trim. This is all finish work, by the way, but it's actually not finish work because you have to do this stuff. You know, you got to do this stuff before you start thinking about paint and interior, because all of this stuff has to work together. Oh my God! Every time I see a car, just nothing works. It doesn't look good. Blah blah blah. So, anyways, that's what I'm going to do. So, this is one of the things that has to be done first. In order to get this done first, I have to mill out. Now I'm going to drill sideways, tap that with a 1/4-20. And then it's done. And guess what that leads into? This leads into me making the console, because this console has to be concealed, and I'm gonna weld it to this. Okay, I want to weld it to this, but I have to leave an access panel to get to this nut. So basically, what I'm gonna do is weld in here, make a plate, which is screwed, so I can get my hand inside there, and if there's any funkiness going on, I can always fix it. But this is most important. Got to get this done first, then I can make the console. Okay. I still got to put the choke in, which I have that. I have a brand new billet choke, because it is a manual choke. And let's see, I also have to put the throttle valve cable bracket on, which goes right there on that pad. So I got to do that, because then you can see my throttle cable just sitting there. So that can be done. Then I could put that on a throttle. That will be done for the kick down. I still have to do, I have to make a bracket for the shifter. In order to get that done, I have to finish the dash. Okay? And in order to finish that, I have to get the console in. So the bracket for that shifter, because that works, it's just not secure. I have to make a nice L bracket. That's one of those tedious, stupid things. Once I make it, I'll never have to make it ever fucking again. So look at that ant. What's he doing? I must have disturbed him somewhere. So anyways, that's what I had to do. So I'm going to take this and take this. We're going to go, and I'll show you on the next video. After I'm done with the van, I'll show you on the next video of the custom-made e-brake handle. Because again, once this is done, I can do the console and things like that. Get to the fun stuff. But after this, I'm probably going to jump onto the roof and bang that out, because I got all the vinyl, I got all the material for that. I can get it all glued down and get it ready. Don't forget, I got a wing going up there too, you vanners. Bye-bye now.